right, and it's time to go to our friend Dr. Pal. And this time I sat down with him to ask about how and what and how much amount of carbs are really good, bad, ugly for you. Are they really your enemy? What kind of carbs should you avoid if you're really somebody like me who wants to begin her day with really something nice and toasty with a cup of coffee? Is that absolutely bad? You shouldn't do it. Listen into what he said. So we have Dr. Pal with us here in the studio. So Dr. Pal, next question that is really on everybody's mind is this big, massive, yummy, delicious and cravish, I don't even know if that's a word, but a really craving thing called carbs. I want to talk about carbs, okay? Everybody loves to hate them but cannot do without them. We go on holidays abroad and we have to have those things. They never seem to be getting fat, but we seem to be downloading it in some other way. So just decode carbs for us. How much of it is good? And then we'll move on to if there are some alternatives.
The way you're saying it, I could see the excitement in your face.
It's breakfast time. I'm thinking of croissants and I'm thinking of some nice, like sort of focaccia bread and like doing all of that. So
right. So the excitement comes because we are thinking carbs as bad. And we are thinking carbs as, only processed food and processed sugars. So that's where the problem is. Carbs are not bad at all. We have been relying on carbs for multiple years together. It is just what kind of carbs that we are taking. There are two kinds of carbs, simple carbs and complex carbs. The croissant, the ice cream, the gulab jamun, halwa, all this are simple carbs. That gives you instant gratification, and that's why your bacteria in your small intestine and large intestine makes you crave for it. The other good carbs is complex carbs, where your body needs that to build your cells for your metabolism and everything, and also to make you healthy. So labeling carbs as bad is the biggest problem over here. The second thing is we need to understand what are simple carbs and what are complex carbs, so we can include complex carbs in our diet more. So simple carbs are anything that comes under a package. Most likely it is a simple carb, 80%. Okay, tell me some foods that you know that comes in a package.
Everything comes in a packet. I stay in Delhi NCR.
NCR?
Yeah, so everything that we buy comes out of a packet or comes from a grocery store. Yeah.
So like biscuits, chocolates, cereals, and anything, ice cream, sweets, all this are made of simple sugars. Okay. So what happens is you eat it, you go into your small intestine. And all the sugars are absorbed in the small intestine. It doesn't matter whether you need it or not. It will be stored as fat, thinking that you will need those carbs sometime later. The problem is that situation will never happen because food is everywhere. In my channel, when I put a video on intermittent fasting, Swiggy ad is coming in between. So there is no problem of...
It's interesting you say that food is everywhere. So the fact that an Indian diet is so carb heavy, because at one point in time our country did not have this abundance, right? And that could be the reason why our diet on the whole conventionally at home is also very carb heavy. There is a roti with ghee on it, there's rice with also ghee on it, there are lots of, there is aloo that is used a lot, potatoes are used a lot in North Indian meals at least, I'm sure in South India as well. So how does one formulate meal at home then?
So in North Indian meal that you're saying, so in general, Indian meals are considered less protein. Okay, protein content is very low. What we should do is we should identify what are all the simple sugars and take it out, include complex carbs, and then increase the protein. We're all good.
Okay, give me examples.
Yes. So for complex carbs, we have fruits are one of the complex carbs. So I'll tell you an example. The fruits contain fructose. Fructose is a simple carb. People think that fruits are bad because fruits are sugar. Fruits are sugar, but it's good sugars for you.
Yeah.
Correct? So what it means is when you are eating, you need to feed two people. You just had a baby, so you have been like pouring love in the form of food for you. So you need to eat for yourself and your baby as well for breastfeeding. The same thing, every person should feed two people. One for your stomach, second is for the bacteria in your colon.
I see.
So that is the key. For you, if you want to eat simple sugar, that's totally okay. But if you have to feed your bacteria with complex carbs like fruits, whole grain, legumes, and also lots of vegetables. Because all these complex carbs happening in these 4 different categories will not be digested by human enzyme at all. It can be digested only by the bacteria in your colon. When you eat it, the bacteria will love it. It will open the cage that comes into the colon, starts having a party in it. It will love you back by making you crave for good complex carbs. So it is a small cycle that we need to break.
Okay, so for example, I go back home and my mother says, you must have rice, you must have roti. What is this keto diet that you've started, that you don't want to have any carbs, you only want to have your omelette, there is no toast in the morning. So what does one do there? Is there, we keep hearing about how even breads, because like I said, I'm talking about practical solutions. Early in the morning, you want to rush to work, you want to slam
omelette and sandwich, correct.
On top of your bread and take it.
Correct.
So should you move to different kind of bread? Should you do sourdough bread, which is more complex, or are there other solutions?
Yes, so simple white bread is the simple sugar that I talked about that you are feeding you. Okay, if you want to feed your bacteria as well, go for complex carb with multi-grain bread. Anything with grain, cereals, not the breakfast cereals, cereal grains, like millet, wheat, sorghum, barley, rye, all these are cereal grains. So maybe wheat bread, multi-grain bread, that will, it's a practical solution for that. And then along with your toast, you have to have some kind of, like a vegetable or like a fruit where you can give the complex carbs, which is a quick thing. For example, my go-to thing is a yogurt with banana slices. Okay, yes, banana is high in sugar, so but it is good in complex carbs. It's not a simple carb. So diabetes people should be a little bit more careful, but normal people can absolutely have a good source of complex carbs, especially before working out or exercising or anything like that. So they need to include that in the diet.
So if you have to have carb, if you crave it, you really want that bread in the morning, or you want to dip your biscuit in your chai and coffee and just pick it up and put it in your mouth.